Welcome back, friends. Here we are again today at Librophiliac Knits, your 14th favorite place on the internet. Hi, friends. Welcome back to Librophiliac Knits. I'm your host, Kat, and I'm here to talk to you today about whatever I want. I don't really know what these are supposed to be about. I have noticed a slight trend in my YouTubing, which is that I am inconsistent. I do not always remember to say, like, these are the finished objects I am working on, or, put little cards in between to show you this is, now we're talking about blah, insert thing. It's just not my way. I'm sorry. If you came for something organized, you've come to the wrong place. I'm just here to be your mistress of fun, your guide on our latest endeavor into whatever the heck I want. Today, I'm here to talk to you about what I've been up to. It hasn't really been a lot of knitting. I actually have been procrastinating as hard as I can about knitting, which, if you've been following along with my YouTube, you'll see that my last episode was called Test Fail, and that's because that's what I did. I failed the test, and I'm sort of happy it's over. I overcommitted and underperformed, and that is not how I like to do things. So I'm just rolling with that particular punch and moving on to better things, hopefully. I don't know. It is way too warm for me to wear any knitwear, so what have I got? Straight needles in my hair, because this is a fiber-related place to be. I've left my mess visible. Here is my crafting space, one of them. I have a couple little chairs surrounded by goodies like this in the house. It's sort of how I roll. I just, I don't have an official craft room, so I just nest in places. And this is where I spin for the most part. What did I want to talk to you about today? So since I don't have a finished object or whatever that I'm wearing, I can get right into things I have been working on. I suppose we'll start with the knitting because, oh wait, no, that's not it. Hey, I grabbed the wrong one. This is the good old cable drape. I have not knit a single row on it since last I showed it to you. I ripped it back. This is going to be the back panel. I'm leaving it kind of narrow because if it's supposed to be a summer garment, I'm surprised it didn't make it an inch wide instead of like 4 or 5 inches wide, because it's going to be very warm. I didn't make any progress on the shorts that will not eventually be a romper. And I should mention that the pattern has been released along with a bunch of sister patterns. So like there's a romper, there's a dress, there are shorts, and there's going to be like a shirt and shorts sort of set situation, and they're all really cute. So even if I failed as a tester, that doesn't mean that the product itself failed. It just means that I got left out of all the fun, and that's okay. I am going to have to purchase the rest of the pattern so I can finish it, and it's no better than I deserve. What else is going on? I have been crocheting. Last time, I didn't even know I was ever going to be a person who did anything with crochet. Last time I showed this to you, it was a belt. I blitzed through the entire ball of yarn and ran out. And there isn't any, well, I'm not even going to go look for more because it was in, like I said, it was in the clearance bin, and I am on a mission to use up my stash. So now I am just freehanding whatever the heck I feel like. You know, I'm all over the place. I sort of went into more of a pastel situation, but then it felt too pastel, so now I'm trying to back off that into brighter colors, but I don't know. I'm having a good time. I did one row of something that was too thick and it's making the texture weird. I might actually rip it back. It won't be that noticeable once I keep going with thinner yarn. Anyway, I'm using all sorts of fun leftovers and balls of yarn that I had no particular plans for. More leftovers. And all the other stuff is not in the bag with us right now, but that is just a fun freehand project for when I don't want to think too hard. Do you have those? Do you like to have a don't think too hard project on the go at all times? And then one of my goals for the month was to not buy anything, not even patterns, but I really wanted to get started on this, and it was something that I've been meaning to make. Like, I've been planning for it all year, so I don't feel like I could have purchased the pattern last month or the month before. I just didn't get around to it, and now I'm finally ready to cast on, so I pulled the trigger and bought the pattern. And look how far I've gotten already. I am following a pattern for a crochet garment. Right now it looks like a bra, but this is the back of the dress. This is going to be a dress with pockets. It's called the Maria dress by Tinderbox. Courtney A. Clark, maybe? Courtney something. And I have never followed a proper crochet pattern before, so that has been entertaining. I was talking with somebody about it, and I decided that the difference is that the formatting is very different. So it just, you know, in a knitting pattern, it's just like written in lines like in a book. But with these, it's been like blocks of instructions that are going left to right and then down. And it's more like graphic novel reading, you know, these blocks. So that is what I decided the difference is between a crochet pattern and a knit pattern. It's, you know, chapter books versus graphic novel versus graphic novel, whatever. Which is to say, one of them isn't necessarily better than the other, they're just formatted differently. I'm still on my spinning mission. Here we go. A little bit of Turkish. I had to almost start over. Chase stole this, my child. Wanted to check out my Turkish spindle, so when he does that, that means he's stolen it and hidden it in his room somewhere. And he removed the spinning I was working on in order to go check out the Turkish spindle. I actually have I've been saving a couple of popsicle sticks, and I'm going to try and make him his own version because I think that would be entertaining, and then he can check that out next time he gets a wild hair. One of the other, I'm looking at my stuff and trying to decide what I'm trying to say. One of the other goals that I set for myself for the month was to spin like 1 pound of fiber, or 1 kilogram, which is 2.2 pounds. I don't think I'm going to make it to 2.2 pounds, but I just weighed up everything that I've spun thus far, and I was at about 12 ounces, which is, you know, 3/4 of a pound. So then I got to work today and did some more spinning, and I am, well, these were in the 12 ounces that I weighed out. I weighed one of these empty so that I could kind of zero that out of it. And then these were each about 60 grams of yarn. And after that, I decided to spin one of my super crazy bats. And I took some video, but nobody was respecting that I was taking video. So I'll add a little bit of that with some music over it, because yeah, the noise. It's unnecessary. Um, but look at how fun this stuff turned out. I am really excited to, I don't know, see what this turns into. I was thinking that I might actually use all three of these and make a 3-ply. It'll just be, because this one is super thick, thin, and crazy. And this one is like sort of consistent. And this one is Chaos Gremlin. Right, straight up. So this one has Angora and 2 different colors of brown wool and a cream wool. And it's super thick and thin and like has all sorts of tweedy bits in it. And I'm hoping that it turns out really cool. I don't know. I don't know. I can't decide what to do with it. That's the whole thing. It's like, do I want to spin it with something plain and sort of try to calm it down? Do I want to leave it just as crazy as it wants to be? I don't know. The only other thing that I brought with me was I had to show you because Wax was disappointed in me that I forgot to mention this because she gave me presents. I got presents. If you were a child of the 80s and loved a little Lisa Frank, then stickers are a love language. Even if you weren't born in the 80s, stickers were still a thing in the 90s, in the aughts, in the teens, in the 2020s. This one, I will read it to you because it's intense. I mean, it's really fun. And look how big it is. It says, I'm not a craft hoarder. I'm the curator of an extensive private art supply collection. Accurate. Yeah. So, I mean, crochet and spinning has been sort of the main stuff that I've been working on. I'm still washing wool like I'm doing laundry at this point. It's just like every couple of days I'm doing another load. The Suent project that I've got going is still in process, and I am going to do a separate video that discusses that very specifically and kind of splices together all the bits and bobs that I've been filming about that. But it's still ongoing. The jury's still out on whether or not it works, because I've definitely had some roadblocks. And the other exciting thing that's happened that is sort of a craft, but not this craft, is that I have joined the tribe of sourdough makers at my work. Somebody, one of my coworkers, gifted me a little bit of her sourdough starter, and I got to work making some bread. And right away, it has to be an experiment, right? I can't just do one and follow the pattern, the recipe. I had to do two different things and try them in two different ways and see what worked. And then I didn't have quite enough sourdough starter, and then I was all over the damn place. It's been great. I made a lemon blueberry sourdough that had like a texture and flavor of a popover, and it was delicious. Can recommend. And then I'm using, the New York Times had a sourdough recipe that was like 700 grams of bread flour and 300 grams of whole wheat flour. So, and that was a double recipe. So you're supposed to turn it into 2 loaves. And then it was like, you can leave it in the fridge to proof for longer, and it will, the longer you leave it, the more sour it is. So one of them I made right away, and one of them is still dough in my fridge, and I have to bake it probably tomorrow. And we're going to find out exactly how sour it is. Hopefully it didn't stick to the, I don't have there's like this special kind of basket you're supposed to have, a banneton. It's like a ropey looking basket that's supposed to mold the exterior of the bread so that it has a cool texture. And I don't have one of those, so I'm just using a bowl with a kitchen towel. And now it's been in there so long, I'm starting to get nervous that the kitchen towel is going to be like fully incorporated into the dough, and I won't be able to get them out apart from each other again. So I guess we'll find out. Reading wise, still on the smut kick, so nothing much to report. Lots of fun sports related romance novels. I don't even follow sports. I don't have celebrity crushes that are like sportsmen, even though, yes, they're very fit. I do enjoy looking at, the bodies of fit humans, but like, I don't know why I read these things about imaginary people when I have no interest in the real ones. Like, I don't know. I guess for the same reason I like science fiction. It doesn't have to have anything to do with reality. It's just an escapist endeavor. Oh, I remember what I wanted to talk to you about. I had an idea, and eventually I hope to flesh this out and turn it into like a whole, I don't know, video episode or like series of episodes of its own. But like, I want to go through the whole process of designing a sweater with you. I think that is a thing that I could really get into and enjoy, and then, it's there for posterity. Like, I've been dreaming up some stuff, and I've been sitting on yarn for like a decade with the idea that this is what I'm going to make with it, and haven't made it. And if I wait too much longer, then it's not going to fit anybody, because it's like a child sweater, and Chase is going to outgrow it. And then what am I going to do? I bought a mini skein set one time, and it's supposed to be to the theme of Van Gogh's Starry Night, with the explicit idea of using it to make the colorwork section of like a Fair Isle sweater, and the whole rest of it would be white or black or whatever, like it could be all sorts of really cool. I could make it look like Starry Night. Wouldn't that be amazing? I would probably really enjoy that. But like that whole thing, the brainstorming and the color theory and the purchasing of the yarn, and I've already got all of it that I need. So like, and then like I like sketching them out and then figuring out the dimensions and like what kind of math do we need to do and all of that stuff. I think we could go through all of that and have a little joint venture into creative process, because you can buy patterns from other people on the internet just as easily as I can, and or you can make up your own stuff. I don't know, like, what are we all on this planet for? Capitalism, that's what waxes say. But like, when you're not in the midst of your capitalism, what do you want to do with the rest of your crafting time? Like, what do you want to do with your time? How do you want to live your life? I love creating, and I can only have so many children. So like, what else can I do? I can make food. I can create cleanly spaces in my home. And then I want to make stuff. I want to make cool stuff, like art and like ideas. I mean, even creating a sense of wonder in my child is the thing that I enjoy. So yeah, we're having our usual philosophy hour at the end of this episode, and that's more than enough for today. So I hope that you enjoy my ramblings, because I enjoy coming on here and chit-chatting with you. Just reporting off on my, like, look, I'm making this. It's getting a little tedious. I want to talk to you about stuff like, I don't know, but see, I'm just not a technical spinner. I'm not a technical much of anything. Like, I can help with some stuff, but I will remind you, if you go back to one of my earliest episodes, I was talking about a book I really enjoy called Knitting for Anarchists. And that mindset applies to me the most. All I want to know is how to do the thing in a way that is comfortable for me and that gives me the product I am looking for. I don't necessarily care who says what is right or wrong. I just want to do something that works and produces the thing that I am trying to produce. Of course, this is one of the reasons that I usually end up following patterns, is because when I'm freehanding it, it doesn't often turn out exactly the way that I want to. And well, it's so much easier to be so much harsher on yourself than on somebody else. If you follow a pattern and it doesn't really fit exactly the way that you want it to, then you can blame yourself, saying, like, maybe you didn't gauge swatch, or maybe you didn't follow the pattern perfectly, or you were using different needles or yarn than what was recommended, or the person who wrote the pattern has a slightly different body type than you, and that must be the cause of it. Like I've heard that Andrea Mowry has a tendency to make arm holes that are small, and having heard that, I made sure to make mine a little bit larger so that they would fit my arms. But if I'm making it myself and it doesn't turn out the way that I want to, then I don't have anybody else to blame. I can't be like, well, I wasn't following this or that. It's like, no, I just messed up. And that, I think that's a little bit of a harsher reality to face or something. I mean, that seems like what it must be. Like, now that the yarn on my crochet blanket ran out, like the stuff that I was really enjoying, trying to find other stuff that's in my stash that like continues the color palette. It turns out I don't have a lot of like those sorts of neons in that thinness or thickness. And that's okay. Like, I have to be okay with it, because either I go out and buy more of it and undo all of my good work with trying to de-stash anything, or I use all this stuff that I have, and I have so much. I mean, I actually am sort of lying. Like I didn't include the insane quantities of acrylic yarn that I have when I did all of my initial, what's the word, organizing and inventorying of my yarn. I inventoried the nice stuff. I Everything else I left out for the most part because I don't want to cop to it. I don't. There's just too much. And I remember watching YouTube videos where people were talking about their stash was hidden in all these weird corners, and they had it in this and they had it in that, and if their spouse ever realized. And I was like, why? Like, what's wrong with you? And now I'm totally that guy. Like, I don't know when that happened, but I have yarn in the the living room upstairs in all of the like corner cabinets, and I have it like sitting out in front of the corner cabinet and one of my like next to a chair nesting areas. This right here with my thumb, I am pointing at it. This whole dresser, instead of having clothes in it, now has yarn. And then like if you go into that closet right there, there's some more yarn. There's like a tote bin and a wooden chest, and then there's plastic bins full of raw wool in the garage, and a plastic bin of prepped fiber in the closet here. And it's a little overwhelming, especially when I lose my mojo. Like, and I can't bring myself to get rid of it. And the acrylic was all gifted to me so that I could gift it to other people so that we could use it for charity knitting. So like, I don't actually want to keep it. If anything, I only want to use it to give that stuff away. But I could just as easily give the yarn away and let somebody else make things, and that would make them happy. I just haven't, other than talking to the internet, I haven't really been in contact with people in the way that I should in terms of like setting up community charity knitting meetups like I used to. So that's on me. I turned into a shut-in after COVID, or during COVID, and ever since. Thanks for getting me out of my house wax. It happens almost never these days. So yeah, that's my confessions for today. I talked about all the things that I wrote down in my little list today, and then a little extra, so that's exciting. And I still have a couple days left in the month to get through a few more ounces of yarn, try and complete my quest. And what else have I got? Should we look? What else have we got in the old goals section for June? No buy. Well, it says not even patterns. I crossed out not even patterns. Finish test knit. Nope. Spin 1 pound or 1 kilogram of wool. Could still happen. Swint washing experiment is ongoing. Crochet dress. Check. Sew something. I want to make a stroller bag. I have an umbrella stroller, and we're going on vacation in a couple of weeks. And I want a bag that hangs off the back of the umbrella stroller. Like, I've tried just, having big shoulder bags that I then pop over the top of it, and it doesn't work. So I need to just add a couple of loops onto a bag that I already have that works so that it can hang off the back of the stroller and be an efficient stroller bag. And that's not a hard project. I just have to do it. And I've got 2 weeks left. I gave myself a little bit of grace this month. I keep trying to set workout goals and I keep missing them. So I said no workout goals. Feel healthy. Love your dogs. Because, walking the dogs is a big part of getting my workouts in. And then reading. I'm still trying to read 2 books out of my home stash and get through 3 genre checks on my list of reading 1 book from every genre. And I'm actually doing a little bit better than I thought. And then I did some research about San Diego. That's where we're going. Trying to figure out what we're going to do with ourselves. So it's going to be so much fun. I may or may not include a visit to a yarn store. I think I think I have to make a deal with myself, and like, if I return some of that extra true boo or new boo or whatever boo that I bought from Joanne, then I can go get some Illimani Sabri from Apricot Yarns in San Diego. Otherwise, no dice. Or, you know, if I destash something else, I gotta destash. There's gotta be some outgoing if there's gonna be anything incoming. So, all right, my friends, on that note, I think I am going to say that's enough for me. I'm having lots of fun crafting away. I'm knitting, I'm spinning, I'm baking, I'm reading. I am crocheting. And it's going pretty fast. I am pleasantly surprised with how quickly it's going. If you are enjoying my insanity, please like and subscribe to my channel. Share me with your friends. Comment below with like questions. I don't know, what do we want to talk about next? Thanks for watching. I hope you're having a wonderful day and that you are making something that makes you happy, even if it's ideas. Bye, friends.